Have you ever been in a meeting where you felt a decision was completely wrong, but everyone else seemed to agree with it? You had doubts, but you stayed quiet. You didn't want to be the one to rock the boat. What happens when that small act of silence leads to a huge mistake? Imagine a team at work. They are gathered to discuss a new project. The team leader presents the idea with passion and confidence, and it's met with enthusiastic nods around the room. The energy is positive and optimistic. Everyone seems united, sure that this is the clear path to success. The feeling of consensus is strong. But you notice a few potential flaws. The timeline seems far too aggressive. The budget feels unrealistic, and you have a nagging feeling that a major risk is being ignored. You look around the table, waiting for someone else to voice a similar concern. But all you see are smiling faces and hear words of support. You start to think, maybe I'm the one who's wrong, and so you say nothing. This situation is not just an unlucky coincidence. It is a well-documented psychological trap that even the smartest, most well-intentioned people fall into all the time. This phenomenon is called groupthink. It is the hidden reason why so many groups of good people end up making truly terrible decisions. The core of the problem is not that people in the group are unintelligent or incapable. It's that the social pressure to conform becomes more powerful than their individual desire to be right. Do not create conflict, and do not be the difficult one. This intense pressure to agree creates what psychologist Irving Janis, who first defined the concept, called an illusion of invulnerability. The group begins to believe it can do no wrong. A history of past successes fuels an overconfidence that blinds everyone to the real and present risks. If anyone does dare to raise a concern, they are often met with subtle, or sometimes not so subtle, pressure to get back in line. You might be told they are not being a team player, or that their perspective is too negative for the group's forward momentum. This pressure doesn't even have to be spoken aloud. It can be a simple dismissive look, a sudden change in tone, or being quietly excluded from the next conversation. Faced with this social risk, what do most people do? They begin to self-censor. They consciously decide to hold back their doubts and private disagreements. That nagging feeling you had in the meeting, you start to push it down. You convince yourself it must not be as important as you thought. You begin to rationalize away your own valid concerns, telling yourself, if this were a real problem, surely someone else would have said something by now. The illusion of unanimity. Because no one is speaking up, the leader and other members of the group incorrectly assume that everyone is in complete and total agreement. In this environment, silence is mistaken for consent. The team moves forward, feeling perfectly united, but they are also completely blind to the cliff edge they are approaching. Some members may even become mind guards, people who actively shield the leader and the group from dissenting information that could disrupt the consensus. It is a perfect storm of social forces that systematically shuts down the most important tool a group has, its collective critical thinking. The central insight here is that groupthink emerges when the group's need for agreement becomes stronger than its need to realistically explore other options. The team's primary goal unconsciously shifts from "let's find the best possible solution" to "let's all get on the same page" as quickly as possible. It effectively turns a group of diverse, independent thinkers into a single, less intelligent mind that is programmed to avoid conflict at all costs. The very thing that feels so good and productive in the moment, a feeling of unity and frictionless harmony, becomes the direct source of failure down the line. So how do you protect your team from this trap? You must make dissent feel safe. The key is to intentionally introduce productive, healthy conflict. One of the most powerful and simple strategies is to formally appoint a devil's advocate for every important decision. This person's official role is to challenge assumptions and find flaws in the plan. Instead of seeking easy agreement, Start seeking out thoughtful disagreement. The best decisions are not made when everyone thinks alike, but when every voice is finally heard.